morning. I'm former Cabinet Secretary Relly Fajardo during the President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo's administration.
And I'm former Cabinet Secretary Attorney Edwin Lacerda during Pinoy's administration.
And we are the Spokes.
From the Palace Halls then to our group chats now,
We'll be giving you conversations that will make you think and assess.
so that you could come up with your own personal opinion. So for our first noted by the Spokes topic, PBBM disclosed that Saldico allegedly attempted to blackmail the government. Could you believe that, someone blackmailing the president?
I know, diba? Who is that brazen enough and courageous enough to go to the president or the palace?
Maybe because he has some information that he has something over them.
Yeah. Well, regardless, Attorney Edwin, no? In the first place, cancellation of the passport actually goes.
Right.
It's for the Sandigan Bayan, not
Right.
not the palace, no, not the office of the president. And also, I've heard that Saldico, they said that he also has a Portuguese passport.
Right, I heard it's a golden visa, that's what they say.
No, that's a golden visa. So if that's the case, then he doesn't really need to cancel his passport, right?
Well, he just wanted to be sure. But the other thing also is, I don't know who the president was referring to, because Saldico's lawyer, Attorney Rondain, denies talking to someone in government. So, sino bang kausap ng grupo ni Pangulong ni Marcos?
Oo nga no? At saka ano rin naman ang guarantee that they will not continue to post the videos, no? Even if it was canceled, no?
But alam mo, my problem with Saldico is, for as long as you're not here, parang hindi, I mean, it's becoming so, parang teleserye pero there's no bomba. Parang kaya may sinasabi siyang expose, parang walang impact kasi nga wala siya rito.
Totoo rin yun. Pero at the same time, it can also be an excuse, which is being really his excuse all this time, na endangered rin yung life niya kung uuwi siya dito, no? Hindi lang siguro doon sa mga ina-accuse niya, pero galit talaga yung taong bayan sa kanya, 'di ba? Hindi lang talaga, I mean, you know.
Ang yaman-yaman niya, takot na ba siya? Ang dami, he can hire security so easily.
Well, yeah, you can say that as well, no? Pero to be honest, itong issue talaga ng Saldico na to, na video, para rin talaga tayong nanonood ng K-drama, no?
Yun na nga eh.
Entertainment na rin siya, no?
Pero I feel like if he wants his what he disclosed to have more impact.
Yeah.
Ay,
He should come home.
tao umuwi ka eh.
He
Kasi
should
nga
come
sila
home.
Alcantara, sila Bryce, sila Bernardo, kahit na they know that they're already nag-testify na, and they testified with confidence. So, the problem with this guy, two things, no? He's not here. Number two, sinasabi niya hindi siya kumita.
Actually, yun ang pinakamalaking big deal yun sa akin, no? Yung credibility niya talaga napakababa when it said na hindi ako kumita. Kasi pagkatapos ipakita lahat ng mga properties niya, ng helicopter niya, etc., di ba? And then sasabihin mo, hindi ako kumita. At saka ba't ka papayag in the first place?
Alam mo kasi,
diba?
Sa kultura natin, dumaan sa you did some service, you'll always get something eh.
Of course, yeah.
Like, for instance,
Especially
kumakain ka
them.
sa restaurant, binibigyan yung tip yung ating waiter, di ba? Parang everything that you do, there's a corresponding tip po. Parang imposible,
Saka
laki-laki.
dumaan sa kanya lahat ng pera na yun, male-maleta, etc. And he will just agree to just be the middleman and not gain from it. Diba?
Baka binili niya ng mga maleta yung kinita niya, no?
And besides, yun na nga no? Kasi before all of this, no, came up yung mga videos niya, ang pinapalabas sa TV are kung gaano ka talaga lavish yung lifestyle, not just him, but his whole family.
Right.
Diba? So, it really gives a bad taste na
Right.
to say na hindi ako kumita dyan,
Correct,
diba?
correct. Kaya
Who
nga-
would really believe you? I don't even probably yung mga tao na hindi masyadong walang pakialam, na nakikinig lang, nagtitinda lang ng sigarilyo,
Right.
would really not believe that, no, narrative.
Mukhang hindi ka paniwala ang sinasabi niya. It's not really credible. So I would urge Saldico and Attorney Rondain to convince your client to just come home. Anyway, for our next noted on the Spokes topic, Malacanang announced the abolition of the Office of the Special Assistant to the President for Investment and Economic Affairs. This is, I think, the position of DECGO.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. No, at the glance, no, pag sa face value mo tiningnan, it may look like actually it's a redundant position if
Right.
you think about it, no, because this is already being done in by its function of DOF and DTI as well.
Right.
So parang nagkakaroon ng duplication. Pero to be honest rin kasi, we both came from government. And
Right, right.
number one problem talaga natin yan is yung yung bureaucracy at saka yung coordination between agencies, di ba?
Sorry, I was mistaken. It was headed by
Now it's Anton.
Anton Lagdameo.
But it used to be with Secretary
ganun ba?
Frederick Go, I think, yeah.
So it's really, well, if that's the case, because I know that if it's talking about those things, the agencies under that were sila BOI, PESA.
Yes,
So that was really part of the portfolio of Department of Trade.
Yeah.
Kanino siya, would you know, kanino siya babalik?
Hindi. Well, both DOF and
Oo.
DTI, no? Kasi marami siyang function eh. Parang he is like a super body eh, that he supersees every, the departments. No? Ang mga, importante kasi yung mga investments natin, no? Especially foreign investment for that matter. And ang sa akin lang siguro, Torny, no? Probably it was created even for the person. Eh.
Pero,
diba? And since
oo nga,
wala na
no?
siya, and it's already in DOF, wala na siyang makakapalit,
So,
no? Oo.
After 3 years, they realized redundant pala yung position na yun.
Exactly. Pero alam mo, sa akin, ang concern ko talaga is the timing. As we know, di ba, we both are from, as a spokesperson, perception matters. Actually, it
And
matters a lot.
what is the
diba?
perception that is being sent?
Now, what is the effect of this in our current situation now? Ang baba ng GDP, 4%, di ba? So, kailangan talaga natin na meron talagang titimon doon sa economy natin at saka sa investment natin. Is this the
Teka
right
muna,
timing to do
Are you
that?
saying that the economic team is not functioning well?
I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that we need that kind of person. Now, whether it will affect the function, no, or the role of that particular person at that particular office, the question is yung timing ngayon, di ba? With our GDP going, ang economy natin bumababa because of all this corruption, somebody has really to focus on, itimon natin to, private sector ha, but dyan muna kayo, let's focus on just doing, creating business, doing your job, pabayaan natin tong political noise dito.
So tingin mo makakabuti to?
Mukhang hindi perception-wise, no?
Oh,
Timing-wise.
okay.
I think yun ang opinion
Bakit?
ko.
So if you think that it's
Timing.
not gonna do well, why did they decide to reduce? Maybe it's
Hindi ba confused na yata ang gobyerno
Going-
natin ngayon?
or-
Medyo,
baka they're
wala
trying
bang
to show to the
malagay?
public we're trying to be more efficient and we're going to cut down on officials.
I don't know. I don't know what's on their mind, but to be honest, okay, si Sec Go naman is with DOF. He would perform the same function as DOF Secretary. He is still part of the Advisory Council, the PSAC, no? Yung Private Sector Advisory Council to the President. So I guess, as I said, no, yung function, hindi masyado maaapektuhan. Sa akin, yung concern ko, yung perception ng investors.
But I suppose it cuts down one layer of bureaucracy. Pero I really don't know, until this position was announced as to be cancelled, I never knew that there
That
was a
there is
position.
such, no? No, well, we did have a meeting with him because I'm very active
with
with the
nag-
Philippine Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, okay.
So we did have a meeting with him. Lahat ng mga concern ng mga private sectors, we brought it to him. Kasi syempre parang alter ego siya ng presidente when it comes to
Wait, you met
economic
with
and investment.
with
Secretary Go.
Secretary Lagdameo, Secretary Go?
No,
Or
actually,
yung DECGO?
Secretary Go. I had a chance to be with the officers of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce to meet with Secretary Go. And we put forward all our concerns of the business sector
And they were
in
acted
his
upon?
office. Not much, pero,
The
you
wish
know,
list has not been granted, so DECGO is not a genie on the bottle.
well, pero alam mo, minsan yun na nga, parang it just feels so good not to know that your concerns are being brought to
Are
the
being heard.
attention of the president, whether it's acted upon or not. But for me, I mean, it still has an effect.
So now it goes back to DTI, di ba?
Yes, and DOF.
So, wala. Basically, alam naman ng trabaho ng DTI yung mga investments, because there's BOI, PESA, so these are good investment.
Sana lang magkaroon talaga ng magandang coordination between the
Ay,
interagency.
hindi, nag-aaway yan sa
Exactly.
pagalingan ng,
Kasi
ng
yun ang-
incentives yan. I know because I dealt with BOI and PESA. Pagalingan ng incentives yan. So I think I
Yun
hope
ang ano
they
eh.
will rationalize the incentives between them. Eh.
Yeah, actually that's the problem, no? Yan ang lagi nating medyo concern talaga sa government, no? Yung iba-iba kasi tayo ng galaw, no? Wala tayong isang direksyon, walang
Right,
nagko-compass. And I guess that's the reason why this office was created in the first place.
I don't know if that was a purpose or maybe it was just political accommodation for...
Could be that, as I
Spokesperson,
said, I
with
think it
Lagdameo.
was really created for the person.
Kasi
And
bali-
now that the person is already accommodated as the OF secretary, then ano pa yung silbi ng OSEPEA?
Exactly, kaya nga. So, anyway, so from the hottest headlines yesterday, let's move on to another heated discussion with one of the country's most respected legal minds.
When the spokes return after this short break.
So talagang ano. And the Spokes is back, and with just 3 days before the November 30 People's Trillion Peso Rally, we'd like to revisit history and our Constitution as guide to our present political climate.
Joining our discussion is no less than the former Dean of FEU Institute of Law. He's a constitutional law expert and political analyst, Dean Mel Santamaria.
Welcome to the Spokes, Dean Men. By the way, just for everyone, he was my... When I was in fourth year law school in Ateneo, he was my professor in the subject of banking. But he has shifted to now, together with his wife, Attorney Ampi Santa Maria, they are now experts, powerhouse in civil law, specifically family law. So,
Parang binubuking mo yung edad ni Atty.
Ano, okay lang. His white hair betrayed him already, so I don't need to betray him. Anyway,
Yeah.
so we're here to talk about the People Power Revolution. You know, it was a good topic for you because both of us, I think, were there. And Miss Relly was still a how old?
But I was there.
Ah,
I
you were
was
there,
really
okay.
young. I think elementary pa lang yata ako noon. But I was there. And just a very quick story, no, Attorney Mel, if you don't mind. No, kasi I'm very proud to say that we were part of history because our family owns Taza de Oro. And some of the plannings, I vividly remember, na sila Senator Nene, etc. We're doing it there at Taza de Oro.
Oh,
no, before
okay.
the EDSA revolution. So, yeah. Oo. Anyways,
Galing.
going back to you, kaya ako
Alam mo
talaga,
ba-
I'm so proud to say that.
Ano
as
siguro
always.
nasa preso ka na pag di successful yung 1986 revolution.
Totoo yan, no? Kasi I also remember kasi we're from Nueva Ecija. And we brought a lot of people from Nueva Ecija, from Palayan City particularly. May mga may bus company kasi kami noon. So, dinadala
Ba't ka
namin
pa nag-gobyerno? Ang daming mo negosyo.
Hindi ako yung
Mali na.
tatay ko. Pero nung napunta sa gobyerno, nasa gobyerno ng tatay ko, umirap na eh, baliktad. Siya lang yata yung politikong gano'n. But anyway, going back to our guest.
Anyway, Dean Mel, 1986 People Power Revolution came to be because there was a moral and political failure.
Yes,
So,
Alam mo, naririnig natin ngayon yung junta, yung transition government, no? Parang kaya bumabalik tayo dun sa mga nangyari nung araw. Nung araw, it was really very necessary to change Marcos to Cory Aquino. Because Marcos placed a legal infrastructure that is dictatorial. You could just imagine yung constitution natin noon ng 1973. Amendment number 5.
Right.
Kung martial law, pwede siyang mag-legislate.
Right.
Amendment number 6. Kung walang martial law, pwede siya mag-legislate. Sino lang nakaka-appoint ng mga huwes? Siya lang. Nag-iisa siya. Kaya beholden ang mga huwes. Warrant of arrest, hindi korte nun. Sa kanya rin. At uutusan niya lang, i-warrant of arrest mo ito. Immunity from suit. Sabi niya ganito, the president is immune from suit. Pati na rin, kung tapos na siya maging presidente, lahat ng official acts niya, immune from suit. Di ba pwede siyang gumawa ng presidential decree? Official act yun. Kaya he is literally, euphemistically, God. Hindi siya pwedeng maso.
di ba parati ang sinisigaw natin sa kali noon, diktador?
Yeah, diktador. At yung sinasabi sa kanyang diktador siya, sabi ng Supreme Court sa Manglapus versus Marcos, he was a dictator. Sa Coco Fed versus PCGG, the regime was a dictatorship. Doon sa Ranada case, sabi, he had absolute power. So, yung mga categorization na
check and
yun,
balance.
wala nang check and balance. Mga categorization na yun, nanggaling sa mga institutional labeling na
Kaya
yun.
kailangan
Kailangan palitan talaga.
yung saligang batas.
It was necessary, and for him to stay on, hindi mapapalitan yun. Kaya it was so necessary, there was a fundamental necessity to have some other form of change. Because kung panatiliin mo yun, that constitution will prevail. So nagkaroon tayo ng people power. It was a fundamental necessity to have that people power.
And the people acted in its sovereign capacity, ano?
In its sovereign capacity. And yet, Cory Aquino did not use that constitution. Less than 1 year, on February 7, 1987, nandun na yung ating new constitution. Ito na yung constitution na nararamdaman natin ngayon. No? One of the most liberal, democratic constitution in the world. Though imperfect, pero okay na. So,
Much better.
Much better na nahandito na natin ngayon. Kaya yung pinag-uusapan ngayon, mag-uunta tayo, mag-extra constitutional tayo. Ang tanong kasi, meron bang fundamental and essential necessity to do it?
But let me ask you one thing. Is it time for us to, I work for Pinoy, the
Yes.
son of Cory, and there was always a reservation for him
Yes.
to amend the Constitution, even small provisions lang.
Yes.
Hindi yung buong Constitution papalitin. Medyo may
Open to
reservation
a
siya.
lot of
Kasi
ano
yan
yun.
parang yan ang gift ni President Cory sa sambayan ng Pilipino. But we've been there for so many years now. Do you think it's time to overhaul the 1987 Constitution?
Normally, 5 years review, di
Yes.
ba?
Oh.
Attorney?
Pero alam mo, na-interview ko natatanda mo, di ba? Edwin, na-interview
Yes,
ko.
yes, I
One-on-one
remember.
kami ni President.
Alam mo, nag-umpisa kay Pinoy.
President
Alam ko,
Pinoy.
anti-Pinoy ito. Medyo...
Oo. Kasi natatandaan mo, nag-joke lang ako dun sa radyo eh. Sabi ko, kasi in-interview ko dun sa DAP, si Orly Mercado. Sabi
Right.
ko, sana si Presidente na interview ko. Ikaw ata ang tumawag sa akin nung hapon eh.
Hindi. Estudyante mong isa, si Abby Valte.
Sabi niya, Sir, sa challenge accepted. So, tinanong ko siya noon, open ka ba sa pag-amyenda ng Constitution? Sabi naman niya, merong mga ilan doon na siguro dapat ulit nating tignan. Pero hindi yung pangkahalatan.
Local
sabi
government
niya.
code, for example.
Yes, yeah. So, hindi na kami nag-deal noon. Pero kung tatanungin mo ko ngayon, kung kailangan dapat palitan ng Constitution, para sa akin lang, personal, hindi muna, wag muna. Review muna, pero hindi muna kasi madaming mga provision doon na nakasalalay talaga sa political will ng mga taong nasa Kongreso. Like for example, yung political dynasty.
Yes.
Di ba? Ang ganda na nun eh. Ang general rule prohibited ang political dynasty.
You're a constitutional law expert. Why is it that the constitutional commissions, I also taught constitutional law,
Yes.
but why is it that the constitutional commissioners, they need to leave it to the Congress people to come up with a enacting law, no? Because obviously, hindi ba nila naisip, it's against adverse to their own interests
Kaya
na
nga
maglagay
hindi
ng
nagiging
politika na
successful.
gumawa ng anti-political dynasty act?
Actually, Edwin, that is a point that is arguable. Kasi kung
What is arguable again?
Yung point na magkakaroon pa ba dapat ng enabling law?
So you're saying hindi kailangan?
Para sa akin, hindi. Sapagkat kung makikita mo yung ating constitution, may default mode eh. The state shall guarantee full access to public service and
Yes.
prohibition against political dynasty. Then gumawa siya ng exception. Subject to the legislation of Congress. So therefore, para sa akin, ang general mode, ang default provision, prohibition.
But the problem is, who do you prohibit? Those are the finer details which are not found in the Constitution. Because you're talking about how many degrees of consanguinity or affiliation ang ibabawal mo at i-cover ng political dynasty.
Yun ang pagkukulang ng ating gobyerno noon.
Kaya nga-
Dapat ang default mode natin, lahat, no degree qualification.
Radical itong profession
Yes,
na to.
no
Dapat
degree qualification.
Then-
Kaya noon, gawin nyo na. Magawa na kayo ng
So how
exception.
come nobody followed that prescription?
Sapagkat ang gagawa niyang resolution para magkaroon ng constitutional convention, mga politiko rin. Sila rin.
Ikaw lang ang may ibang opinion na everybody seems to be in agreement that there should be an enabling law.
Well, hindi, para sa akin hindi. Hindi lang ako yon. Madami pang mga constitutional law expert na nagsasabi na that was meant to be promptly enacted. Kaya ang proposition nun, ang default mode is a prohibition.
What is your base? I don't see that in the Constitutional Commission records.
That is precisely the point.
which is-
Merong dirt. No? Pero ang tinitingnan mo lang ngayon, yung Constitution itself. Ang Constitution kasi, it's made up of general rules and exceptions. So, bago lahat, i-apply muna natin yung general rule. Prohibit political dynasty. Subject to legislation.
What are you
Yung subject to
saying?
legislation.
What are you saying now, attorney, na pwede na itong i-implement yung anti-dynasty
Radical to eh.
if
Oo.
our leaders, if they have the political will, they can implement this. We don't need to change the constitution or amend the constitution?
Well, okay. Pwede nang, sa akin,
Okay.
pwede na talaga. Kaya lang papasok ang Congress dyan, o sige, pinagbigyan ka ng Constitutional Commissioner, papagbibigyan namin kayo, ligyan nyo ng limitation within the 4th civil degree, within the 3rd civil degree, within the 1st civil degree. Pero hanggat hindi nyo ginagawa yan, sapagkat ang experience natin before this Constitution was talagang parang spider web eh. Ang dami talagang political dynasty, and even today, about 70% ng mga nandiyan sa Kongreso sinasabi na magkakamag-anak eh, sa iba't iba pang mga posisyon eh.
Parehong congressman, party list.
At that point in time in 87, the real idea and spirit, as far as I'm concerned, was to promptly enact those limitations. Otherwise, if you don't enact it, sakop kayo lahat.
And
Para
that
sa
is,
akin yan.
but the problem there is, you don't have any statement among the constitutional commissions which should have given persuasive authority to your reasoning. The other thing also, it seems like to a man or to a constitutional expert, subject to the exceptions that you've made, nobody seems to agree with that, because even the Congress people, they're already filing bills on anti-political dynasty. In the Senate, sina Risa.
Yeah.
In the House, sila Laila, sila
Yeah.
Egay.
Exactly.
Wala tayong magagawa. Kasi yun nga ang perception ng mga tao. Siguro ang trending nung interpretation is Congress must enact a law.
Yes.
So tama na yung ginagawa nila Senator Risa Ontiveros, no, within the 4th civil degree. Hanggang dyan na lang magagawa natin to satisfy the clamor.
We have a term in government, whenever there's a general principle that is spelled out, the question to us is, how do you operationalize that? So this is a
Usually
problem
it's
of
through the IRR,
operationalization. In this case, even the Congress people feel that there should be an enabling law. So dapat nasa Constitutional Commission ka noon, kasi para...
Alam mo sa akin,
Hindi,
ni Edwin, no?
alam mo,
Very revealing para sa akin yung sinasabi ngayon ni Attorney Mel, no? Na hindi mo kailangan ng another law to amend the Constitution. You know, it can be implemented right away if we have the political will to do so.
Kasi ang
That's-
mga excuse ngayon ng mga congressman, kailangan muna kami mag-enact ng law. Parating ganon. So nabibinbin. Wala talaga nangyayari sa Constitution, no? Kamukha nung halimbawa yung ating law on crime against humanity. Yung section 15, section 14, sinasabi natin na pinapahintulutan naman ng gobyerno na mag-waive ng kanilang jurisdiction kung merong ng international court na nag-iimbestiga ng isang person alleged to have committed a crime against humanity. Anong depensa? Wala pang enabling law eh.
Pero di ba,
Diba? Parating ganon.
Attorney, pwede bang like kasi kung ako yung nasa posisyon ni Presidente ngayon, no, na with all this, they've been bombarded by all of these issues about corruption, no, at kailangan na talaga niya mabawi yung perception ng public, di ba, na to his side. Meron ba siyang pwedeng gawin on his power as president
Alam
to
mo,
enable this law?
Yun ang nagustuhan ko kay President Pinoy. He is always testing the limits of the Constitution. Kamukha ng DAP. Natalo siya doon. Pero nagkaroon tayo ng realization, kung hindi mo ibibigay sa presidente yan, hindi siya makakapag-subsidize ng mga gasoline increase, di ba? So, kasi ang presidente, we all know, the president has extraordinary powers, but also has extraordinary limitations. And those extraordinary limitations provide the reasons for the complexity of decision-making.
You know,
So therefore, ano mga limitations niya? Limitation as to available resources. Limitation as to time. Limitation as to information. Limitation as to previous commitments. No? Madami siyang limitation na nakakapagpigil sa kanya. So, Kung yung, ano yung tanong mo, yung
Pwede ba? Si Presidente, can he do this if he wants to? No?
yeah, limitation of permissibility yan. So, therefore, tinitingnan niya ngayon ang Constitution. Basahin niya ang Constitution. Sasabihin niya, wala naman let's test it. Di ba? Wala naman, let's test it. Let's have the Supreme Court decide once and for all kung kailangan to ng enabling
but
legislation.
you need to have a justiciable case first
That's
before
right.
you go
Oo,
to
totoo
Supreme
yun.
Court. Wait, the other thing that I was going to tell you, sinabi mo si Pinoy, I was with
Yes.
Butch Abad last night, no? And so we were asked, during your term, bakit hindi nyo pinasa ang anti-political dynasty? And Butch had a very good explanation because ang daming problema at that point because we're coming from, daming problema what we inherited from the GMA administration. And so we had to fix all those problems. Not about just corruption, but really a lot of the things that we needed to fix, no? So he prioritized all these things so that we can improve the economy of the country. Like, that's why on our second term, naging 3.8 yung GDP, kaya pinagalitan kami ni GMA, sinabihan kami ba naman na this is a high school government.
Don't worry, 4% naman ngayon.
Sinabihan kami na high
Konti na
school
lang.
government, si Joker Arroyo, binanatan kami. But after the second term, nag-shoot up to 7+ ang GDP namin. But so that's not a justification, but we prioritize what should be good for the people.
Because that's the work of the president.
Right.
The president is always obliged to make choices.
But
the
hard choices.
Yeah, hard choices.
For
Kasi
now. And we need that now, attorney.
Right.
Di ba? At
Because
this point.
kung simple choices lang yan, sa undersecretary mo nang ibigay. So, the hard choices goes to the president all the time. And yung sinasabi ko nga, it creates certain complexity because yung mga limitation niya, ang limitation yun nun, limitation as to permissibility and limitation as to time. Ano uunahin natin?
Exactly.
Kasi mas madami pang gagawin.
But to the credit of the Congress during that time, remember Anthony Del Rosario? He mentioned na umabot sa discussion yung anti-political dynasty bill na final hanggang second degree of consanguinity yung prohibition lang. Dalawang ano lang yan, dalawang punto lang yan.
hanggang
Pero
kapatid
ngayon,
mo lang yan.
Si Chel Joc, no, ang bill nila is fourth degree of consanguinity or affiliation. Medyo mas mahirap yun.
Yes, hanggang ang 40 degree,
First cousin.
hanggang first cousin mo,
Correct.
hanggang pamangkin mo,
Right.
hanggang apo ng pamangkin mo, hanggang tito mo. Yun yung first cousin.
Pero let's change it.
Mas
no?
marami kang makakaaway.
mas marami.
Kasi you have to
Mas-
choose,
mas maraming
choose
hindi
your battle,
susuporta.
di ba? Oo,
Halimbawa,
yan.
kumapasa yun. Si Senator Erwin Tulfo nasa Senate na. Hindi makakatakbo si
But
Rafi Tulfo.
there's also a question of
Kasi ano
coverage.
na eh.
There's
Yes.
also a question of coverage.
Yes.
Do we limit ourselves to local politics
Yes,
or
national.
including national? But let's move on from that. No? The structure, don't you feel that with all the corruption happening, obviously it seems like the structures of corruption are so endemic right now. So can the Constitution be amended such that we can take away all these structures of corruption?
Or maybe not just amended. Kasi parang ako, ang tingin ko medyo late na we only have like more than 2 years,
Yes,
no? This
yes,
administration. Sabi mo nga issue about time, di ba?
Yes, time.
Can we still do this? That's why my question is, under the existing Constitution, what can the President in his power do? No, because we need it badly now. No, we need to show the people that this government has that political will to do something huge. No, and itong political dynasty is one of the ever since has been one of the biggest clamor of the
By
public.
the way, mayor dati. Wala siyang
Alam mo, ang dami talaga magagawa ng presidente para mag-iwan siya ng legacy. Kasi hindi na naman siya may elect, di ba? Talagang bite the bullet na or roll the dice, di ba?
Ayaw niya
Parang
matapos
ganon.
yung role na to na ang maaalala ng mga tao is the video of Saldico, di ba?
Of course. Ituloy niya yung kanyang crusade dito sa floodgate na to, dito sa corruption sa flood. Tapos tama, yung political dynasty once and for all.
Yeah.
Sige, ipasa ko yan. Madami pang mga pogi points pwede niyang
Isa
sabihin.
to sa pinaka-enabler kung bakit nagkakaroon ng corruption.
Correct.
Diba?
Pwede niya sabihin, for example, okay, I'm just trying to review the Maharlika Law Act, di ba? Ang dami talagang so many, yung estate tax. Abolish na natin yan, walang pakinabang yan. Alam mo,
Okay ako dun.
Kasi alam mo, parenthetically, halos lahat ng halos lahat lang naman ng mga countries sa Asia wala na estate tax.
Talaga?
Yes. Pero kita mo, ang unlad nila kasi nabibigay ka agad yung pera. Yung perang dapat ibayad sa gobyerno,
Wealth
yung tao
transfer.
nang naggagasta.
Bureaucracy kasi talaga.
Yes,
Yan
bureaucracy. Oo, yan naman yung limitation as to information, permissibility, talagang bukod sa mga limitations sa ating constitution, madami talagang practical limitations ang isang presidente. Kaya kung papalitan pa natin ang presidente ngayon, wala na talaga siyang magagawa.
Exactly.
Wala nang wala.
Hindi yan ang solusyon
Hindi
no?
yan ang solusyon. Walang magagawa kung sino mang papalit na presidente.
Ayaw mo lang si Sara Duterte
Hindi,
maging
sa-
presidente.
isa
And
pa yun.
palagay ko
Isa pa
yun
yun.
din ang issue ng mga ibang organizers ngayon ng Trillion March.
Well, kung magpapalit tayo, titingnan natin kung sino mga kaalyado niya. Titingnan natin kung ano yung moral principles niya. Titingnan natin kung ano yung... Kasi, kung compare mo kay Marcos, kay Cory, wala kang masasabi kay Cory eh. Although housewife plus siya. Because leadership also involves moral leadership eh. Pero kung
Especially in our country, a religious country na...
Exactly.
Yeah, yun ang isang kailangan natin talaga.
Oo, dito, kung papalit mo, I mean, with all due respect to Sara Duterte, maybe she's capable, but you were talking kanina yung perception eh. Hindi niya pa nasasagot yung mga articles of impeachment eh. Grabe yung mga articles doon. Article 1, attempt to assassinate. Article 2, confidential fund. Article 3, ang dami eh. So, dapat sagutin niya yon.
The issue
Sige.
with China.
Okay.
Ang daming kailangan.
Issue with China.
Ang pakay natin is to really talk about the November 30 rally. No? So, with the looming November 30 rally, are protest actions still effective? What should the people be mindful of? What should the government do? But before you answer this, the spokes will return after this short break. And the spokes is back, still with Dean Mel Santa Maria. So kanina yung tanong sa'yo, relevant pa ba ang mga rallies at saka ang mga protest actions?
Siyempre naman, kaya lang, yung mga nagrarally, wag lang tayo mag-expect that government will react rapidly. Talagang may parang niluluto, hindi naman niluluto, inaayos yan. Kung makikinig talaga ang gobyerno, it will come a little bit later. Huwag tayong mag-expect na, okay, tomorrow, lahat ng sinisigaw natin dito, aayusin na. Mahirap ang gobyerno.
Explain to us first, bakit may dalawang rally parati? May isang sa Luneta, may isang sa
Dalawang
People Power.
faction kasi yun eh.
Napakagandang tanong, ano?
Magkaiba sila ng gustong mangyari. Kaya nga itong rally na to, hindi ko alam kung anong magiging kahihinat na nito. Kasi yung tao confused.
Kasi yung sila, the progressive left, di ba? They're demanding the resignation of President Marcos. The one in People Power Monument, they really focus on eradicating corruption and making sure that government officials, no matter how high up, should be prosecuted and jailed.
Attorney Mel, I think that's the biggest difference between the EDSA Revolution and this Trillion March or itong series of rallies that we're having now. No, in the EDSA Revolution, we were very specific kung anong objective natin. We want to oust this administration. But in this case, what do we really want? Diba? But ako, sumasama ako sa rally eh. No, at
Hanggang
least-
kailan ka sumama ng rally?
sumasama talaga ako. Sa 30, sasama rin ulit ako eh.
Ay,
Pero
talaga?
my point is, I think at least pinakamagandang effect kasi nito is that we keep the fire burning. No, hindi pwedeng walang pakialam yung tao. At least alam ng gobyerno, they should always be on their toes because people are watching them. No, hindi na po pwedeng business as usual. Diba?
Yes. Kaya kung ang tanong mo, Edwin, Larry, ano bang tamang rally dyan? Mahirap sabihin eh. Kasi kagaya nga ng sinabi mo, better to have criticism, whether shallow or deep, than no criticism at all. Diyan ang demokrasya nabubuhay eh. Kaya kung gusto mong pumili ng rally, kasi nagdududa ka sa isa, madaming katanungan dyan. O, sino ba nag-head ng rally yan? Ano ba agenda nila? Sino mga kasapi dyan? Sino ba yan? Inuutusan lang ba yan? O talagang it's a matter of authenticity? Is it a matter of obedience? or a matter of authenticity na talagang nakikita mo na kailangan pagbabago, then you have to make a decision. But to have rallies, okay yan. No problem yan.
At least
No
we have the
problem.
platform.
At least we have the platform. At least you see the Constitution is alive.
But what is the prevailing opinion right now among the common people? Do they really want a change in leadership, or do they just really want to make sure that these government officials, Congress people, or executive branch should go to jail?
Ako, ang feeling ko,
Frustrated lang sila.
frustrated lang, disappointed lang, but not necessarily a change in leadership. Because yung pinag-uusapan natin kanina, wala nang mangyayari 2.5 kung hindi mo itutuloy yung inumpisa na itong floodgate na to. Tuloy mo na hanggang may matapos, hanggang may ma-convict. Pero kung mag-change tayo ng administration, baka
Wala lalong mangyayari.
hindi lang yun, baka mag-iba ang mga respondents. Ibig sabihin, iba ng focus nila. Itong ating demandang mawawala Ganun ang ating administration.
no
As you said, it's personalities based Ngayon, di ba?
There is no fundamental, essential necessity for a turnover of government because it's personalities. It's agenda.
There's no structural overhaul, even if you remove the present crop of leaders. It's the same set of. It's like you're just reinforcing the definition of insanity.
Yeah.
Doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different
Kaya ako
result.
babalikan ko yung
Exactly,
sinabi ni
exactly.
Atty.
Very
Mel,
good.
na kaya para sa akin, very revealing yon. If I am the president, what can I do? Kailangan ko ng isang malaking pasabog, no? Something that would be, kahit papano would turn...
Which is my let me just add to the statement of Relly here. What if there is direct evidence linking this whole flood control scam to the president? Would you still maintain that we don't want to change the leadership? Or because that evidence is so damning and so incontrovertible, will you now go for change in
Oo
leadership?
nga, no? That's a hard question. Even if we have probably 1 year to go before the
Right.
election.
Yes.
Pero there's really that impetus to
Well,
change the
may mga
leadership.
pagkakataon naman na hinihingi ng pagkakataon. Di ba? Hinihingi ng pagkakataon na para makita yung tao ang nangingibabaw. Kung talagang matindi ang korupsyon pati ng presidente, bakit hindi natin pa-resignin? But let's go to the constitutional process. Mag-resign ka. Di ba? At idagdag na rin natin, mag-resign ka rin, Vice Presidente.
Teka muna.
Baka si Tito Sen na lang maging presidente.
Alam mo, naman na hindi ako green, Pero bakit mo ini-insist na isama si VP Sara sa pagbitiw?
Sapagkat, ang kailangan natin, isang pinunong
Fresh
may
start.
moral ascendancy. Can you give her the benefit of the doubt once she comes into the picture? Para sa akin lang, personal ko, hindi. Tignan natin ang track record natin. Tignan natin ang track record niya. Sagutin mo muna yung mga allegation sa'yo sa isang institutional complaint galing sa House of Representatives. That's major.
Unfortunately,
That's major.
she will not resign,
Yes.
whatever happens.
That is correct.
So let me ask you one thing. What's the constitutional solution to that? If someone like VP Sara refuses to
resign.
Can for instance, let's look at the scenario for withdrawal of support.
The Senate President will assume. After the
So
Senate
you're
President...
assuming that when the military does a withdrawal support, and assuming that they will demand the resignation of BBM and Sara, if Sara refuses to resign, then the military can force them out?
No, hindi pwede. Unconstitutional
So,
na yan.
therefore-
Because the civilian authority is always supreme over the military, di ba?
Correct.
Extra-constitutional na yan. Yan ang mga unknowns
Oh, okay,
natin.
let's talk about, you're talking about the constitutional framework. Let's talk about the reality on the ground. Wala namang, hawak ng military yung baril They'd rather go, for instance, to the provision of a caretaker president in the person of the Senate President.
Medyo I doubt that because as I said, parang medyo I think na yung military at the time of the President Duterte was tied because of the China incident, China, a good relationship with China, hindi ba, Attorney? So, I don't know, would the military go that far at this point?
Mahirap sagutin yan sapagkat it boils down to the personality, the upbringing, the education, the constitutional
Nagsalita na
awareness
si Secretary
of
Guibo,
the
diba?
military people.
Okay.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
What if President Marcos refuses to resign? And then what?
Tuloy niya pa rin.
So, walang magagawa. Walang withdrawal support. assuming na
Hindi natin alam kung mag-withdraw ng support, pero from the statement
kung
of...
mag-withdrawal support, obviously the best case for the president is to status quo.
Yes.
So you continue governing until the end of your term. But what if he refuses to resign and the people are not happy with it? And the military will take their CQ not from the commander-in-chief but from how the sentiments of the people. In the same way that we did that in 1986.
Continue protesting, continue rallying. Siguro dito na natin makikita ang character ng mga Filipino people. And ito mga adventurous na military na ito, dapat rin sila mag-isip-isip. Dapat lang magpatuloy ang ating pagpoprotesta.
Alam mo, medyo malawak na diskusyon to, mahaba na diskusyon. So ito ang tanong ko. Sa lahat ng evidence na nakita nyo at nakalap ng ating ombudsman, ICI, sa tingin mo, sino ang mga mambabatas na strongly implicated in this corruption scandal?
Hindi ko ba kasi nakikita yung tunay na
Oo
ebidensya
nga
eh.
In-announce lang
Oo,
kahapon.
pati yung pinag-uusapan
walo
nyo kanina,
yata,
si Saldi
na
ko, hindi naman
lawmakers.
natin nako-cross-examine. Salita lang ng salita, pati ito. Dapat makita ko yung ebidensya bilang abogado. Ang hirap kasi mag-estimate na. Pero I am almost sure na may sangkot dyan.
So, but
Maaaring bang walang sangkot dyan? Meron yan.
Pero what do you think is the tipping point, no, for the armed forces to make that move, no, going back to our discussion, attorney?
When there is already a critical mass. Yung critical mass, ang sinasabi ko, there is a fundamental and necessity to change the structure and to change the personalities. Kasi ang nangyayari lang sa atin ngayon, personalities lang eh. Pero there is no need to change the legal framework ng ating constitution. Kaya it boils down to the people we elect.
Pero Mel,
Dapat talaga magka-revolution tayo. Siguro wag na nating i-elect yung mga nakaupo ngayon.
Hopefully, yan ang magiging effect nitong natin.
pero
no,
Mel, you didn't
nangyayari
answer
ngayon.
my question. Sino sa tingin mo sa mga mambabatas ang dapat makulong?
In your own personal opinion, hindi na muna yung
Hindi ka
mga
naman-
evidences.
Wala ka naman, you don't have skin in the game.
I refuse to answer that kasi
Because?
mahirap, because I'm a lawyer, titignan ko na. Pero ang sinasabi ko lang sa presumption na ginagawa ng batas, na kung ang iyong mga nakuhang mga pag-aari ay hindi tugma sa iyong kinikita, ipepresume yan na ill-gotten wealth. Doon pa lang pwede na tayo mag-umpisa. At tingnan natin kung totoo yun.
But, going back, hindi nyo to sinagot rin kanina, attorney, nung sa mga discussion natin, ang dami na. But, do you think that President Sara, or Vice President Sara Duterte, will be installed in power before 2020? With what's going on now, with this trillion march, if this will succeed, what is your,
Sa nakikita
yung
ko ngayon,
assessment mo ngayon?
Sa nakikita ko ngayon, hindi siya ma-install. Sapagkat yung military gumawa na ng statement that they will follow the Constitution, no? At number two, it is extra constitutional kung hindi mangyayari nasa Constitution. Palagay ko, medyo aware na rin ang mga tao sa structure ng ating Constitution. Kailangan lang ipatupad yan.
May tanong ako sa iyo. Alam ko, sa tingin ko, binoto mo si Lenny noong 2022.
Oo.
Mukhang hindi na siya interesado sa national politics. So mukhang base kahapon, nag-usap kami ni Barry, siyang co-host ko kahapon na spokesperson din ni Lenny. Ang tingin niya mukhang devoted na siya sa sa Naga, no. So sa tingin mo, in the absence of Lenny, who would be the right person to take on the cudgels and be the leader of our side in the next presidential elections?
Well, pwede si Risa Hontiveros. O pwede rin yung sa kabila, baka rin silang biglang may sumulpot na ala Duterte noon with charm and gilas and, charisma, no? Hindi
Pero
natin
bakit
expect.
May time pa ba?
Bakit si Risa pa rin si Barry, ang tingin din niya si Risa?
Sapagkat sila ang prominente ngayon. Sila ang nakikita nating may resulta ang ginagawa. Di ba?
Does she has that charisma?
She has the charisma.
Does she? That actually, it's a question. Does she really has that charisma to be a president?
Pwede niya pang gawaan ng mga pamamaraan kung konti pa lang sapagkat napakalayo pa.
So what are your expectations in this November 30 rally?
Expectation ko, siyempre, madami pa rin sisigaw at tama naman yon para sabihin ng mga katiwalian at ng gobyerno, pati ang kagustuhan
Pwede bang
nila.
isama sa demand yung pinag-usapan natin kanina about enabling law, yung anti-dynasty to be implemented.
I think now is the time to do it.
Yeah, implemented
Yes.
by this administration.
Oo, kasi,
Oo.
totoo yan. Dapat. Yan ang mga, total naman.
Sama natin sa isisigaw yon. Hindi lang
Oh,
basta
yes.
corruption because it's part of the root of
Pupunta ka ba
corruption.
sa
also.
November 30?
Hindi ako makakapunta, nasa Netherlands ako.
Oh.
Meron akong gagawin.
So magdadala ako ng placard. Magdadala ako ng placard.
May bibisitahin ka? Yung
Hindi naman, titignan ko lang yung park doon.
So anyway, maraming salamat, Dinmel.
Bitin na bitin naman.
Oo nga, bitin na bitin. So anyway, so thank you, Dinmel Santa Maria, for your wonderful discussion. So today, this wraps up the episode of The Spokes. For now, don't settle for just one side of the story.
Because every issue has two perspectives and the truth may be somewhere in between.
I'm Attorney Edwin Asherda.
And I'm Relly Fajardo.
And we
are
are
The Spokes.